Let me tell you, I've seen some wild stuff in my time, but this one really takes the cake. Picture this. A woman parading around a lake community swinging her husband's FBI badge like a weapon. Only twist, she didn't know the guy she was bullying was actually her husband's boss. Yeah, that's the kind of story you need popcorn for. So here's how it all kicked off. I got 3 months leave needed to finish a classified project in this mountain cabin right on Lake Crystal. Pine Ridge, that's the name. You'd think my biggest issue would be spotty Wi-Fi, not HOA drama, right? I wasn't planning on running into Karen Thompson, the self-declared HOA enforcement director, or having her try to pull rank on me. Yet there she was, marching up with a homemade badge, snapping pictures like a junior FBI agent on her first sting. 47 cabins tucked around this lake, all these families paid big for peace and quiet. I kept my story simple: government data contractor working on something hush-hush, nothing that'd make folks nosy about late-night encrypted calls or the hardware scattered on my desk. Truth was, I was untangling a web of organized crime, trying to break up 3 trafficking rings. But day 2, right when I'm enjoying my coffee, comes that furious ringing like someone's calling 911 with their thumb on the doorbell. I open up and there's Karen. Navy blazer, clipboard held like she's ready to bash in a window, and this plastic badge enforcement covered in eagles and stars straight off a dollar store sticker sheet. She starts measuring, inspecting, bossing me around step outside official inspection, like she's rehearsed it in the mirror every morning. I've done 25 years in law enforcement, seen real power, seen wannabes. Everything about Karen screamed overcompensation. She stalked around my place listing federal-level compliance and environmental codes that didn't exist. It wasn't just me either. Old Mrs. Wilson, tending flowers next door, ducked inside as soon as Karen appeared. Across the water, the Santos family grabbed their kids, left the fishing rods swinging in the wind. Folks disappeared when she came by like deer in headlights. You could smell the fear. That same day, Karen's on my dock writing up a violation section 12.3a, unauthorized dock usage, $200 fine, federal permits required, she says. Non-compliance gets reported. Her voice cold as lake water in winter, trying to freeze me out. That night I pull the HOA bylaws. Guess what? Section 12.3a doesn't even exist. Dock access is included in every rental. But I see her husband, James Thompson, pulling up government plates, the walk, the routine, FBI written all over him. I know the type. Here's the kicker: every one of Karen's tickets was authorized by Agent D. Thompson. She was signing her husband's name, bluffing with real federal power she didn't have. I mean, forging federal documents, threatening people with ICE, with license boards, with child services. This wasn't an overzealous neighbor. This was a whole criminal operation built on fear. And it wasn't just me. I started asking around. Mrs. Wilson got threats about immigration. Santos family, same thing, but about their kids. Dr. Patel, threats about his medical license. Barbara, single mom, paid just to keep Karen away. 8 families handpicked for their vulnerability, paying Karen nearly $200 a month. That's $38K a year, money squeezed out by federal authority that was nothing but hot air and lies. You'd think her husband must have known, but the more I watched, the clearer it got. James was in the dark. He did his 9 to 5, came home and never saw a thing. Karen did all her dirty work while he was gone, then cried about difficult neighbors at dinner. But then Karen ramped things up. She sent out fake summons for a mandatory federal compliance briefing at the clubhouse. Everyone got a letter full of bogus federal logos and threats. The clubhouse packed with scared faces. She stood at the front waving folders, dropping phrases like residential compliance investigations, property issues, residency complications. The tension in that room, you could cut it with a butter knife. Only one guy, Mr. Rodriguez, dared ask what agency she was talking about. She shut him down instantly. Questioning federal procedure is noted in compliance records. People didn't just fear her, they'd been trained not to question. It got uglier. Karen started bringing a photographer to harass Mrs. Wilson, demanding access to the Santos house for inspection, warning Dr. Patel about federal review. Kids started having nightmares about their parents being taken away. Adults stopped talking outside. By week 3, the whole place felt haunted. Nobody fished, nobody grilled. You'd see her patrolling the lake, always with that clipboard, always hunting for her next target. My family visited one weekend just when things hit a boiling point. Mina, my wife, brought the kids. We had a barbecue, kept the music down, kids played on the sand. Karen circled camera ready, counting cars, taking pictures of us by the fire. That Sunday, I saw her on her phone glaring my way. She dialed 911, claiming a public safety incident and name-dropping her husband to the dispatcher. Police rolled up one young, one senior. They found nothing, just burgers, marshmallows, and tired kids. But Karen showed up oozing fake concern, claiming my husband trains me to recognize unauthorized activity. The cops had to file a report, of course. The next morning, Karen came with a federal child safety inspector, her brother-in-law wearing a fake badge carrying forms he printed at home, demanded access to my house for a child safety check. That was it. Karen had gone from fraud to full-blown evil, terrorizing kids, threatening families, all with fake government power. But here's the thing, she thought she was the shark. She didn't know she'd just poked the bear. You threaten my family, I don't just push back. I call in the cavalry. That night after Mina tucked the kids in, she looked at me. Marcus, this ends now. I don't care who her husband is. She terrorized our children with fake federal authority. Handle this like the federal law enforcement officer you are. So I did. Quietly, I went around the lake, gathered every piece of evidence, photos, tickets, quotes, receipts, talked to people in 2s and 3s so word wouldn't spread to Karen. Then I called in favors, sent encrypted messages, told the Bureau organized intimidation, fake paperwork, financial trail, identity misuse. Within a day, we had warrants, bank records, and every digital scrap she'd ever made. Karen had documented her crime so well, prosecution would be a slam dunk. But I couldn't leave James hanging. He was innocent, a good agent whose life was about to implode. So I planned it right. Thursday night, Karen dragged James over, convinced he'd scare me straight. My husband, Agent Thompson, requires discussion. I invited them both in, laid out my badge. My paperwork let James see exactly who I was. His face went pale. Sir, you're S.A.C. Stone. My supervisor, Karen, froze. Then it hit her. Her whole empire was built on threatening her husband's boss, the woman who'd made life hell for dozens of families using authority. She realized she'd picked the one person she couldn't intimidate. I told them clear and cold, Mrs. Thompson, you've run a criminal enterprise using fake federal authority. James, your wife, extorted $26,000, threatened 8 families, including mine. The neighbors had gathered by now, Mrs. Wilson Santos, Dr. Patel, watching Karen unravel. Marriage to a federal agent doesn't make you an agent, I told her. James, stunned, said Karen, he literally signs my performance reviews. That was the mic drop moment. The Bureau pressed 47 federal charges. Mail fraud, impersonation, RICO, extortion, intimidation, up to 60 years if she fought it. But the community pushed for restitution and help, not revenge. Karen pled out 3 years probation, 500 hours of service restitution therapy, and a 5-year no-contact order. Every family got their money back, plus help for trauma. The HOA rebuilt itself, elected real leaders, fixed the bylaws, made it safe for everyone. James kept his job, turns out. Sometimes good people get caught in someone else's storm. With the truth out, the community healed. I wrapped up my project, packed up the cabin, and watched my kids splash in the lake. No more fear, just sunshine and laughter. And Karen. She put in her hours, taught English to immigrant families, planted flowers. With Mrs. Wilson, spoke about abuse of authority. She'll never have the power she craved, but maybe, just maybe, she learned what it means to actually help people. So let me ask you, when is it justice to show mercy? Is it ever right to forgive someone who weaponized fear, or should people like Karen always pay the full price? Drop your thoughts below and tell me, have you ever seen power get flipped this hard? Let's talk about what real authority means. Share your stories. Justice doesn't end with punishment. It starts with understanding.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.